Hi guys, we are going to be working on developing our kernel essay into a rough draft today. So quick reminders before we get started. On this slide deck, do not delete any slides because every slide has information for you that will help you in this development of a rough draft. Okay, some of the slides are like this first one where you are copying and pasting or you are typing in and adding information. And then some of the slides are informational slides and exemplars for you to go back and refer to. It's very important that you pay attention to the information on each slide and that you really think about what details can I add to my kernel essay to really push it and make it become this rough draft that's going to be great and acceptable. So on this first slide, you are going to use yesterday's kernel essay and add specific details to develop each sentence into individual paragraphs. So here, we're just going to copy and paste your kernel essay from yesterday. You're just copying and pasting, putting it here. The next slide is the example slide of where you were, okay? The red, green, and pink all represent the different elements that were added into this sentence. Red representing theme, green representing the setting, and pink representing the characters. So I learned to be grateful for my friends when I borrowed a friend's old car and had to be rescued from a dangerous situation in the backwaters of Arkansas. Okay, so how are we going to develop this into a paragraph? We are going to develop by adding, okay, the description of where and when we were. And then we are also going to use some characterization using STEAL. Okay, STEAL stands for speech, thoughts, effects on others, actions, and looks. Okay, that's how we learn the characters. That's how they develop in a story. And that's what you are going to be adding to this first sentence to develop it into a paragraph. Here is the example. Pay attention to the color coding because they represent the different pieces. Green as a setting, blue as the characterization, pink as the characters, and red as the theme. Okay, here we go. I learned the importance of gratitude when I was a cocky 19-year-old visiting some friends at my old college in Arkansas. At that time, I no longer attended school there, but I had dropped in for a visit and wound up borrowing the 1973 Volkswagen Bug belonging to my best friend Arden. Arden was generous and wise, and I knew she felt worried when I asked to borrow her old bug, partially because it was old and not fit to be driven long distances, but mainly because I was an overconfident city girl from New York who didn't know how to drive stick and wasn't used to driving the backcountry roads of rural Arkansas. Arden said straight out that this isn't the best idea, Laura, but I was determined to drive a few hours to visit the youth group I had mentored back when I was going to college in the state. I dismissed Arden's concerns and thought, what could possibly go wrong? It's just a little 2-hour drive in the beautiful Arkansas countryside. Little did I realize how grateful I would be for my friends before the weekend was over. Okay, so that was your example. Okay, so the slides in green, examples. Here we are with the slide with white. We have our text structure, which you guys used yesterday to develop your kernel essay. And you're going to be thinking about what is your theme? Where did your story take place? Your characters. What was your kernel essay one sentence? You're going to put that there. And then we are going to develop by adding. We need some descriptions, more detailed descriptions of where you were and when you were. And then we need some steel details and development of the characters in your essay. Okay, this slide number 5 is where you guys are going to write that out. And you can start off by pasting that first sentence there, and then pulling the pieces that you feel like will add to the development. Now, remember, you need to have some descriptions of where you were and when you were, and you need to talk more about the characters. And it's a good idea, and Ms. Notaro and I would love for you to do this, is to color code where you're talking about the characters. Cocky 19-year-old, generous and wise. I was an overconfident city girl. Okay, those are all details sticking out to us. So that's what we want you to be thinking about as you're developing these sentences, okay? As you go on, the requirements become a little bit different because each stage of the kernel essay built on a different literary element. So the second sentence was over the conflict. So we want to make sure we have a description of the conflict. What is the problem? More characterization. Keep on developing your characters. And then we want some sensory detail. So if you go to your next slide, that's where the example kind of, you can see where the highlight is, kind of blossoms, and it lets us as readers know what the conflict was, but also where the characters' thoughts were at, okay? And you're going to continue doing this throughout the slide deck. Is this overwhelming, or does this feel hard? Maybe, but it's not. You guys are going to do an awesome job as long as you follow each of the slides and their examples. You guys are going to do great. Now, if you have questions or you feel stuck, please email your teacher and we will be happy to help you in this development of your kernel essay rough draft. Okay, you guys have a great day.